My friends, we continue our playlist. Let's translate. Тренируем вопросы в отрицание. Разве вы несчастливы вместе? Aren't you happy together? Разве это неплохо? Isn't it bad? Разве он не капризный ребенок? Isn't he a capricious child? Isn't he a capricious child? Разве мы недостаточно гостеприимны? Aren't we hospitable enough? Aren't we hospitable enough? Разве они не женаты? Aren't they married? А разве ты не удовлетворен своими результатами? Aren't you satisfied with your results? Aren't you satisfied with your results? А разве это не долгосрочный контракт? Разве это не Isn't it долгосрочный контракт? A long-term contract. Isn't it a long-term contract? Разве ты не увлекаешься спортом? Aren't you keen on sport? Aren't you keen on sport? Разве у тебя нехорошо с иностранными языками? То есть, дословно, разве ты не хорош в иностранных языках? Aren't you good at foreign languages? Aren't you good at foreign languages? Разве это решение не абсурдно? Is this decision ridiculous? Is this decision ridiculous? Aren't you happy together? Isn't it bad? Isn't he a capricious child? Aren't we hospitable enough? Aren't they married? Aren't you satisfied with your results? Isn't it a long-term contract? Aren't you keen on sport? Aren't you good at foreign languages? Isn't this decision ridiculous? Thank you. Если is, получается, это решение абсурдно, а разве это решение не абсурдно? Isn't this decision ridiculous? Thank you, my friends. Next. Разве это не стоит делать? Isn't it worth doing? Isn't it worth doing? Разве это не абсурдное решение? Isn't it a ridiculous decision? Isn't it a ridiculous decision? Разве это не детальный ответ? Isn't it a detailed answer? Isn't it a detailed answer? Разве он не женат на ней? Isn't he married to her? Isn't he married to her? Разве ты не увлекаешься такого рода вещами? Разве ты не увлекаешься? Aren't you keen on такого рода вещами? These kind of things. Aren't you keen on these kind of things? Разве они не разведены? Aren't they divorced? Aren't they divorced? Разве я не прав? Am I not right? Am I not right? Разве ты не интересуешься этим? Aren't you interested in it? Aren't you interested in it? Разве это не лучшая альтернатива? Isn't it the best alternative? Isn't it the best alternative? Разве это не хорошо? Isn't it good? Isn't it good? Isn't it worth doing? Isn't it a ridiculous decision? Isn't it a detailed answer? Isn't he married to her? Aren't you keen on this kind of things? Aren't they divorced? Am I not right? Aren't you interested in it? Isn't it the best alternative? Isn't it good? Разве они не благодарны тебе за твою регулярную помощь? Разве они не благодарны тебе? Aren't they grateful to you за твою регулярную помощь? For your regular help. Aren't they grateful to you for your regular help? Разве ты несчастлив? Aren't you happy? Aren't you happy? Разве это не краткосрочный контракт? Isn't it a short-term contract? Isn't it a short-term contract? Разве она не помолвлена с ним? Isn't she engaged to him? Isn't she engaged to him? Разве это не противоположное слово по значению? Isn't it the opposite word? Isn't it the opposite word? Разве это не на противоположной стороне? Isn't it on the opposite side? Isn't it on the opposite side? Разве это не привлекательное предложение? Isn't it an attractive offer? Isn't it an attractive offer? Разве это предложение не привлекательное? Isn't this offer attractive? Isn't this offer attractive? Разве это место не стоит посетить? Isn't this place worth visiting? Isn't this place worth visiting? Разве этот фильм не стоит посмотреть? Isn't this movie worth watching? Isn't this movie worth watching? Are they grateful to you for your regular help? Are they grateful to you for your regular help? Aren't you happy? Isn't a short-term contract? Is she engaged to him? Isn't it the opposite word? Isn't it on the opposite side? Isn't it an attractive offer? Isn't this offer attractive? Или можно сказать, разве это предложение недостаточно привлекательное? Isn't this offer attractive enough? Isn't this place worth visiting? Isn't this movie worth watching? Разве это не стоит упомянуть? Isn't it worth mentioning? Isn't it worth mentioning? Разве это не стоит сказать? Isn't it worth saying? Isn't it worth saying? Разве этот плейлист не стоит посмотреть? Isn't this playlist worth watching? Isn't this playlist worth watching? Разве это не стоит сказать? Isn't it worth saying? Isn't it worth saying? Разве это не стоит увидеть? Isn't it worth seeing? Isn't it worth seeing? Разве мой прогресс недостаточно большой? Isn't my progress big enough? Isn't my progress big enough? Разве этот уровень недостаточно высокий? Isn't this level high enough? Isn't this level high enough? Разве это не абсурдно? Isn't it ridiculous? Isn't it ridiculous? Разве эту книгу не стоит прочесть? Isn't this book worth reading? Isn't this book worth reading? Разве это не стоит прочесть? Isn't it worth reading? Isn't it worth reading? Разве это не бесконечный процесс? Isn't it an endless process? Isn't it an endless process? Разве эти материалы недоступны? Aren't these materials available? Aren't these materials available? Isn't it worth mentioning? Isn't it worth saying? Isn't this playlist worth watching? Isn't it worth seeing? Isn't it worth seeing? Isn't my progress big enough? Isn't this level high enough? Isn't it ridiculous? Isn't this book worth reading? Isn't it worth reading? Isn't it an endless process? Aren't these materials valuable? My friends, thank you. We continue our playlist.